Alright, what's going on everybody? It's Nasa Media coming at you with another video. You know what time it is. It's time to bring on that boxing. Today we're going to be talking about Canelo Alvarez, obviously coming off that big unanimous decision win over Triple G in their trilogy fight. That was highly anticipated. I think that was the outcome that we kind of all expected. I personally said, if you guys saw my prediction for that fight, I said that I would be really impressed if Canelo won the fight by stoppage, but I didn't expect him to do it. I thought that it would be unanimous decision, and it was. Some of those scorecards were just like outrageous, but you know, that's besides the point. But in the post-fight, you know, press conference, they asked Canelo, Sean Zattel from Fight Hype, they asked Canelo, you know, they kind of asked him like about not fighting Mexicans, because Canelo has said that he doesn't want to fight Mexicans, but that doesn't mean that. I think Canelo clarified in that interview that he will fight a Mexican, but he would avoid it. He'd try to avoid it. So Azurdo Ramirez, obviously he's fighting Bivol. If he beats Bivol, I probably have Bivol in that fight. But if Zurdo does win, then you know that could be a potential opponent for Canelo, and they were just curious to see if you know Canelo would be willing to take that fight, given that he's a Mexican. I think that Canelo would take that fight if the money's right and everybody demands it. I feel like it's something where, you know, it's not so much about, you know, fighting a guy that's a Mexican. It's more so giving the fans what they want to see. I'm pretty sure the Mexican fans, even though they love both fighters, would love to see the fight. I think that there's not a boxing fan that, you know, if there's an American versus American, they still wouldn't want to see them fight. They're tapping so many times, you know, Floyd, Shane Mosley. They're like, that's just one of a thousand matchups that, you know, just come to mind when you think of an American versus American. There are a lot of guys that you don't have to be fighting a different country. It's like more of what the fans are craving, and I think that they're gonna want to see a fight against a guy like David Benavidez, for example. Obviously, I think that the Bivol rematch is something that Canelo wants, but taking into account, you know, that there's a chance that Zurdo wins, I still think Bivol wins. But if Zurdo does win, what does Canelo do? Does he take that fight, or does he step back and say, hey, this is a fellow, you know, countryman of mine, and I really don't want to fight him, and you don't take that fight? That'd be hard for me to, you know, get behind, just because of, you know, like, I respect it. It's his decision at the end of the day, but it's just that from a fan, from a, you know, a boxing purist, I feel like you just have to make the fight happen if it's, you know, if it makes sense. You know, if there are other options by that time, you have the Bivol rematch, then take that fight, redeem yourself, and then maybe, you know, ride off into the sunset. But obviously Canelo doesn't seem like he's going to retire soon. It seems like, you know, that obviously he has that hand injury, so I think he's getting surgery. I think they estimated that his next fight would probably be September of next year, so a whole year, maybe around a year till we see Canelo back in the ring again, which is a pretty long time to be inactive. I think that, you know, it's going to be tough, especially with his age. I'm not saying he's not very old. I'm just saying, you know, he's getting up there, especially with injuries. When injuries come into play, it gets that much harder. But I think that Canelo, I'm not trying to sound disrespectful to, you know, the Mexican people, but I feel like that Canelo fighting another, you know, Mexican fighter is not a big deal. You know, Marco Antonio Morales, Eric Morales, those fights happen. Did I say it right? Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales. Those are all fights that, you know, happen. Marquez, you know, they all fight fellow Mexicans, but it's just stuff that stylistically makes sense and the fans want to see. But I think that why not make that fight happen? I think that it doesn't have to do with anything. Boxing is not about, you know, it's not a personal sport in terms of going at a different country. I feel like it's just the best fighting the best. And I think that Canelo should fight Bivol or Zurdo, whoever wins the fight, or, you know, he could also redeem himself in a rematch. But obviously, I want the David Benavidez fight. I think that fight would be crazy. I think Canelo still wins, but I think that if Canelo waits too long, 2 or 3 years down the line, it could be an issue for him. But let me know in the comments what you guys think. Should Canelo fight fellow Mexicans, or do you think he should just stay away, respect his countrymen, and you know, pursue other opportunities? Let me know in the comments what you guys think, but I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching. I'm out of here. Peace. Well, that's going to do it for another NASFight Media video. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys for the constant support. Salute to you always.